Old West.
The one that's leaving, Melissa Ruffner. We're standing right here on the Ruffner stable. You wouldn't think so, but this way it's actually here that her great-grandfather, great-uncle, George Ruffner built. This,
Sheriff.
well, sheriff, undertaker, businessman, bon vivant, and adventurer. Okay, so she can't go behind. But with that for a moment, I'm going to let Melissa entertain you. Well, Melissa and Dale. The other favorite person I have here is Dale Carnes. She is a giant in the reenactment industry.
You're a piece of work, Neil, and I will get you later.
Oh, I know you will. These two have more experience in doing this.
Here he goes. Here he goes.
They were actually both probably there. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to these two lovely ladies, and they can start explaining how a lady was in the old days.
Apparently not that one.
That's right. It is a state. Yeah, you're right.
I wasn't referring to the stable. I was referring to Neil's remarks.
Oh, okay. In other words, it's getting too deep out here for them, and I'm in the way, and I'm going to let these two ladies take over.
Hey, oh, it's working now. Yay.
All right.
All
So
right.
Dale, here we are again. I had someone ask me this week if we're doing a commentary again for the costume contest, and I said yes.
And they bowed out.
I forgot to ask them if that meant they were coming or they weren't coming. So, at any rate.
Melissa comes in with this great big traveling bag, and I have to tell you, she scares me half to death. God only knows what she has in that traveling bag.
Let's review. You came onto the grounds to do the costume contest last year with a rather large bump. I think it was, 9.5 months, and since then you delivered whatever child that was. So today, or last night, you told
You're
me,
getting back at me.
last night you told me you were going to be tougher today,
Oh.
and we can't let that pass. So we'll just see. We'll just see.
Was anybody here last year? Anybody in the audience here last year? No? Well, you're in for it now. Somebody with a red hat had his hand up.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Two people who came last year. Those of you were quite great. All right. Let's start the contest. We have children's category first. Are the children ready? This is Victoria in a prairie dress. The year is 1880. My name is Victoria. I am wearing my big sister's prairie dress. Cotton with a pinafore, cotton stockings, which of course no proper even young lady should, and bonnet. I am in town with my granny, shopping at George and Lily's Plaza and Mercantile. We are going for ice cream later. This is Victoria.
Can I go with? Can I go with?
Yeah, ice cream.
Okay.
So what happens now, for those of you who haven't been at the costume contest, this is, pardon the expression, hotly contested. What happens is that they speak to the judge. The judge asks them a variety of questions to see what their information is other than what we read on the card, and they are judged then and given a score. So sometimes that takes a few moments. That's when we'll fill in with the surprise.
Or we can go ahead with number 2. Okay. Number 2, Miss Rihanna. Miss Rihanna's got just a moment to get her stuff together. There she goes. Rihanna is representing a young Victorian girl. She just got out of school and is heading home with her slate and rolling hoop. Rihanna's dress is made of blue cotton and crocheted lace, and she loves the big bow in the back. Thank you, Brianna. Good morning, sweetie.
Okay. Our next child participant is May. May comes in town to sell the eggs she brings from her pa's farm. She loves to come to town because when she's in town, she can visit with some of her friends. Very lovely, very, very lovely. I'll tell you what, I wear some on every once in a while now because they really do, especially if they have the flap on the back of the neck, they really, really keep the sun out. Almost as well as somebody else.
They did have some good ideas. Now, number 4, Harley. Harley, here you go. Harley is wearing a blue calico dress, complete with bloomers, and petticoat and top socks. In those days, it was absolutely layer upon layer upon layer upon layer.
Do you want me to stand up either side of you so my sunshade can shake you as well? You know, this belonged to my great aunt, and I actually have a photograph of her with this sunshade.
I love those the little parasols that blink to the east and west and keep you shaded. I think that's good. Yeah, let's trade places. And I buy the bag. Maybe not.
Oh my. Okay, well now we have,
I think we have one more.
yes, Florencia. Florencia, hello. I am the daughter of a wealthy Spanish family. My father owns a large hacienda and ranch in southern Arizona territory. I am wearing Spanish lace and silk from Spain. My cummerbund is made of red lace. My mother handmade the roses on my sash. I chose my own outfit. Do you like it? Senorita. We're going to give just a moment for the judges to talk to her while I tell you this. Do you know why women use the sunshade? Part of their, no, don't bother to answer here, I know the answer.
I was just going to say to shade the sun, but
Well,
yeah, whatever.
but there was a very specific reason. In those days, makeup had a translucent look because it had beeswax in it. And if you got your face in the sun, pretty soon your lovely face was in your lovely bosom. And so this is what the sunshade was for. Didn't know that. That's just only the first surprise.
But you weren't really showing your lovely bosom, so I think it more dribbled down the front of your dress.
No, this is as good as it gets. When my aunt and mother said things would start going south, I thought they were going Okay, we now have Town's Lady. Miss Bell is wearing a dress inspired by a painting from February 1875. Her dress is made of a rich moire material edged in white lace. Her overskirt is made of yards of white embroidered linen with white lace and roses. She is wearing hand-embroidered stockings as well as custom-made shoes. Oh my, look at, she's showing her ankle. Oh,
She went all the way to the knee, honey. Oh, that's your car.
so, she is carrying a Dutch lace parasol with a handle that is 150 years old. It's a family heirloom. She has a cameo at her neck and one at her chest that holds a tiny perfume bottle. Miss Dowd is wearing a fan at one hip and a pocket watch on the other. She carries in her hand a pocket frame from the mid-1860s. She has a reticule inside it. She has her calling card holder, a bottle of smelling salts, headache powders, and a linen hanky. On her left hand, she has on a Civil War hallmark ring. Thank you for allowing her to show her creation.
My husband's great-great-great-great.
I know I'm not commenting on the ladies, but I'm just looking at her from the backside, and I'd say she looks every bit as good from the backside as she does from the front.
Well, that's the idea for dressing up like this. You have to see us coming and going. In fact, I have a rhinestone trim on the back of my hat as well as rhinestone jewelry on the front, you see. So that ladies like this young lady are picturesque for ladies. Absolutely.
If I wrote
Okay.
a online,
So now we have townswoman Ida Bell.
I have antique lace.
Ida
I just
Bell
don't want to pull them up.
is the bank president's wife. We live in the finest house in town. I have many maid hats, but I always make my own dresses. I don't trust anyone to my fine tastes. Some may say I'm a snob. I say I've got money. And you know, we have Nob Hill right up here on Union Street, those beautiful Victorian houses, but there are only 4 houses up there. Everyone else in town, when that was created in the early 1890s, did call it Nob Hill. Absolutely.
Were you there when that was created?
No, but I was born here, so I'm sure I ride shirt.
No, you have so much firsthand. Is that Albert and Emmeline? Good morning. The characters we are depicting today are Albert and Emmeline Noyes. Albert O'Noyes is credited with bringing the first sawmill and quartz crusher to Prescott in 1864. He provided all kinds of lumber at a fair price and even lowered his prices in order to encourage use and enable poor men to build. He sounds like a pretty cool guy.
You know,
I'm not done yet.
I might mention that I wrote the history of the pictorial history of Prescott. You're not done yet. I want to tell you about Noyes.
Well,
Noyes is right there.
He was wed to Emmeline Smith on January 22, 1870. He received hearty congratulations from the community for his good luck in securing one of the best of California's fair daughters for a wife. And Mrs. Noyes was heartily welcomed to her new home. They spent their lives here in Prescott and are buried in the Masonic Cemetery. The costumes worn by this couple are from 1870 and would have been worn to a church service or an outdoor event like a picnic.
Now, what I want to tell you about Mr. Noyes, he was in partnership with a judge here in town whose name was Judge Silent. Noyes, Silent.
Terribly clever.
It's true, it's part of history. But yes, this was a very famous couple. And if you haven't seen it, there is a display on the sesquicentennial over by the Shady Ladies tables, the water and so forth, telling you about Prescott's 150th birthday and how we pronounce the name of the town.
Okay. I still have people in our group, God love them, who call it Prescott. Are we going to Prescott? No, we're going to Prescott. I don't know where you're going. I've been told I have to behave, so I will read this. The circuit preacher. There he is, also known as a saddlebag preacher. He would travel as much as several hundred miles on a given route by horseback along the frontier spreading the gospel. The life of a circuit preacher was physically grueling, traveling in all kinds of weather, probably even what we had yesterday, conditions often with little or no shelter. They traveled with few possessions, carrying only what would fit in their saddlebags, and often with a pistol along with his Bible, as they might face Indians or outlaws. They preached every day at any place available, cabins, eating houses, or street corners. They were always on the move. Their length of service was for 2 years, but all too often their lives were cut short somewhere along the trail. Thank you, sir.
Very nice. So while he's speaking for a moment to the judges, let me tell you that Curtis Covey, who had property out in Williamson Valley, was one of the first preachers in town. Although he wasn't associated with the church, he used to preach at the courthouse plaza just across from us. And he had a lot of information to talk about because Whiskey Row was right across the street. So he just talked about whoever was coming out of the saloons on Sunday morning. All righty, we have Specialty Woman 2. Specialty Woman 2. The year is 1886, and Missy is on vacation in Yosemite Valley and plans on a pleasure ride around the valley today. 10 years ago, before the stage roads into the valley were completed in '75, she remembers being led into the valley on horseback, an exalting 18-mile ride in a side saddle. Today, her ride should be more pleasurable as she is finally attired in her best riding habit, with hat arrayed with cream sash, copied from Le Mode Illustrated. The Victorians would never think of riding in their street clothes. Riders are quite often sewn into their habits in order to show off their figures to best advantage. The skirt, also called a habit train, is shorter on the left side and longer on the right, and shaped to fit over the right knee for full coverage. For heaven's sakes, she would not want her feet to show. With the long side pulled up and attached with a button, the skirt becomes floor-length all around. The look is intentionally tailored and sparse, with very little trimming to show off the figure. Riding boots and crop complete her assembly. Tally-ho, Missy. Very nice. Now, where do I start on this one? First of all, my late husband and I were married in the chapel in Yosemite, and soon after that, you couldn't be married there anymore. But our first view was looking out at the falls of Yosemite as man and wife. Side saddle, I've never had to ride side saddle, and I hope I never have to ride side saddle. It's pretty dull.
Well, kind of boring. It's much easier to just get up on the back of the horse. Specialty gentleman number 2, Dr. Joshua T. Robbins.
And as I wrote on there, it's short
Dr.
on
Robbins, you ready?
the
A
right.
snake oil salesman from 1892.
I put it on the
Very slick looking. Selling magical medicines for mysterious maladies.
What else did you want to know? And
Wearing
basically,
traditional
here's
frock
the
coat,
sign to sign.
period vest, and shoes and pants with braces,
Because it's
and
supposed to
two-
accentuate the woman's
and a
figure,
derby
has very
with
little
my
to it,
bag of
and
tricks.
and
And poisonous oil.
yes.
Natural medicine.
It really takes two people to do this.
Possibly from corn, doctor.
Usually high in alcohol, so that you knew it worked for us.
Or you didn't care.
I'm not going to show you my fingers, please. Can you back
You're in competition with Doc Holliday, you know that. Don't tell him that to his face, bud.
Thank you so much.
Specialty Woman 3. I am wearing a military-style leggings and skirt with an equestrian bodice, which I made myself. My Henry rifle is a 22 LR, which is my favorite for trick shots. The pin on my hat is a gift from an admiring fan. Phoebe and Mosley is your name?
He's at Phoebe and Moses.
Well, nice to meet you.
Specialty man number 3, Madman Murph.
I'm gonna have this as well during tooth extraction. This is not for the patient.
Madman Murph, you did not put any information on here, so I'm gonna wing it. You look terrific. That's about as winging it as I can get.
So I have mutton chops.
Well, that's not costuming, that's really him. He's wearing high-top boots, a very fancy red vest. Do you do a little gambling on the side, man? Just a little bit, okay.
Oh, look at the knife he has.
Would you call that a Bowie knife? Would you like to show the folks your Bowie knife? I don't think he uses that to cut apples, but you know, you never know.
I heard it was to pick your teeth with. Is that true?
That's what they called it. Thank you, Murph.
Now we have Victorian lady number 1. Hello, my name is Trudy D. Sometimes I can be truly delightful, and sometimes I can be truly deadly.
This one never runs out of
I am wearing an 1887 visiting dress made out of cotton and taffeta and lace. The bodice has chevron trim front and back, accented with an original Chatelaine perfume bottle, original cameo, and carrying an original silk-covered folding carriage parasol. Original crochet gloves from the Patterson Patterns magazine. In the evening, I would remove my lace dicky for dinner or show. I am also wearing button hook boots and carrying an original hook made from whalebone and twigs. You know, whalebone was also used in some of the very early corsets. I only heard.
It always sounded very painful to me. I don't know. When one of my ladies said, "Do I need a corset?" I said, "Well, you're not going to catch me in one, so, you know." Okay, we're switching categories at midstream here. Gunfighter number 1, Santee.
My perfume Chantilly, as it's caving in because it is also
Otherwise known as the Scourge of Tucson. Well, I will drink to that.
so covered.
Matter of fact, I did last night. He's a contemptible, yet strikingly handsome miscreant. I give you 2 guesses who wrote it, Santee. A desperado from along the border of southern Arizona. He is adorned.
They're buttoned up.
You wrote it for sure. He is adorned in a stolen vaquero jacket
Have rubber soles, do they?
and ready for action.
Don't fall.
Did you see what he did? He touched the brim of his hat.
Yeah, I told that's not Right.
No. That is correct. That is correct. If you don't know the woman, you don't need to remove your
Oh,
hat.
but see, that's where you're wrong, darling. He does know me.
Feel like
Very
someone's
well.
narrating your life.
Okay. That probably was not last year.
No, that was last night.
Okay. But really, I want my most gentlemen, they don't know me, that's fine. But at least nod of head, or touching the brim of the hat. Not just wearing the clothes, but doing the things that were the courteous thing to do at the time is also very important in my estimation.
Let me tell you this, Melissa. As long as he doesn't draw his gun, we're good.
I adorned it a little bit more.
He's the one who did.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Okay, Victoria 82. Odessa Red is wearing an 1879 National Form visiting dress. Her curious bodice is made from silk brocade. The skirt has silk taffeta knife pleating, complemented with hand-dyed cotton batiste ruffles. Odessa's bonnet is an antique 1870s woven horsehair and woven straw. Odessa embroidered her parasol and has over 100 hours of hand stitching. She also made to match by covering them with embroidered silk taffeta with black accent bows. Those are her shoes. And she's showing her ankle again. Now please excuse her while she continues on her walk across the square to her best friend's house.
Shame on you.
Can we see your shoes?
Yes, you did. Back up so you can see.
Victoria 81.
And I made these. I covered them. They get kind of ratty with the ruffling, or with the pleats.
Gunfighter number 2.
And the batiste is all hand-dyed.
My name is Tucson. You know they named the whole town after you, sir? That's amazing. And I'm for hire, legal or illegal.
And I hand embroidered my parasol.
Just came into town for some whiskey, maybe take a bath, really good idea. Wash my clothes, oil my guns.
You better get your fan up there. He hasn't taken his bath yet at the Palace Bar.
I'm aware. And he says he's rarely in a good mood. I'm getting that just from looking at him.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Any place for the crowd. Saloon girl, Miss Lily. I work at a saloon in Tucson and bought my dress from a Mexican seamstress's wagon because my favorite color was red. Sweetie, did you not get the top? You forgot to buy the top.
That was almost rude, but extremely observant.
Oh, come on, I'm
You
sure.
do know that I'm with the regulators and the shady ladies.
Can we see your shoes?
And you read the name tag.
Well, wait just a minute.
It's not fresh. It says Henri.
I know what it
Henri.
is. I could have made the suggestion for them. Who do you have? You have a lady.
Thank you.
This Miss Dakota Lil coming up. Dakota Lil is in town today to do her banking and other errands. She is dressed as a proper lady and still is being shunned by the local townslady due in part because Miss Lil owns the local parlor house. Her bodice is a revised 1873 summer edition moderate pattern that is hand-sewn and has a removable dinghy at the front neckline. It would be removed when she is working. She also wears a vintage cameo brooch. She's chosen satin so as to draw attention to herself due to the rustling sound it creates. I understand it drives me crazy. Good taffeta with blue embroidered flowers as the main fabric, complemented with a beautiful blue bodice, which is ruched down the front to join to the gathered apron and bustled overskirt. Gold tassels complete the finish of adornments. Her underpinnings, we can't tell what her underpinnings are. Her underpinnings include a lobster tail bustle, petticoat, bloomers, and of course her corset. Her hat is of woven straw that is trimmed with tan around the brim, and the medallion is made of vintage fabric, feathers, and a vintage, also added the white ostrich feathers. Silver hair comb is for, you know, most of the ladies and madams have a business card, not a book.
Are we on page 3 yet?
But this is so interesting. Her silver hair comb is one to provide extra support for her hair and to draw attention, as she is a self-made business owner. Included is a reticule that houses her hairpin, spectacles, and a good luck 1870s large set that her grandfather gave her. Her shoes are blossom black velvet opera shoes that she has acquired when visiting New York with a wealthy customer. Of course, it will trust. So she has carried handmade painted wooden fan, which of course was a present from the proudly man who visited her parlor. And it says where her parlor is located. I'm not going to read that part. Now, I'm sure that people will be able to find out.
She will probably be available to pass out business cards at some point in time.
And let me tell you, any of you here from Prescott remember Gail Gardner? Gail Gardner was a wonderful cowboy poet. You'll hear his poetry, tying a knot in the devil's tail, and that's running cowboy poets gathering. We have a Gail Gardner road here in Prescott. Gail Gardner told me that the prostitutes, or lady working ladies, reminded him of Easter eggs, colorfully decorated and hard boiled. That's a pretty good description.
I would think so. I think Lakota Lil has finally made it over to the judges court. Coming up on Cowboy, is that Swede? Hello. This is Swede. Was working cowboy in the 1880s. Using all practical gear, no fancy dime novel or Wild West show traffic. Sweet took a ship from Massachusetts at age 20 to California. He learned cowboying and freighting, which got him to Arizona Territory about 1880. He took freight from Ehrenberg to Prescott and stayed. His current, coming from Ehrenberg, I absolutely agree with that. His current armament is a Remington 1875 Army single-action revolver in .45 caliber center fire cartridges. Thank you, Sweet.
You tip the hand of both of us. Some of these people visit, don't you think? Okay, we have Madam number 1. No?
2.
2. Okay.
Barbara, I have no madam.
It's right here.
Okay.
Miss Bubbles. Yes. Miss Bubbles. Let's call her that. Miss Bubbles, an entrepreneur of sorts, has moved to Prescott from back east to start her own business. She is wearing a light gray underskirt with purple gray pleats on the bottom of the skirt, trimmed with dyed gray Victorian lace,
Pause for fire truck.
And a kid pleat of lace in the front of the skirt with 3 gray lace roses around the kid pleat. The overskirt is a deep purple silk, bustled in the back and trimmed with dyed gray Victorian lace. The front of the overskirt has a Chinese silk lavender brocade inlay.
Page 2.
The bodice consists of deep purple silk, also trimmed in a dyed gray Victorian lace with a Chinese silk lavender brocade inlay in the front of the bodice. There is a pleated lace in the back of the bodice, also with 3 gray lace roses around the pleat. The sleeves, bottom of the bodice, and overlay is also trimmed with dyed gray Victorian lace. Gray gloves complement the ensemble. Gray, purple, and lavender feathers also adorn Miss Bubbles' hat. And hair. Lovely. Purple necklace and earrings add to the entrepreneur's appearance. What an entrepreneur would be without an antique black piglet and antique fan from Spain to coordinate with her husband?
There's my cowboy. Cowboy from Two Mule Ranch. Oh, he's strutting his stuff today. Just south of here, he drove a small herd of cattle up for the quartermaster at Fort Whipple and some local merchants. All cleaned up now. Well, that's as cleaned up as he did. All cleaned up now and heading for Whiskey Road to visit the establishments there. Plans to start at one and work his way down to the other. We'll then ride back to the ranch, if able to, and sober up. That's what I said. The microphone went poop on the word up.
Needle can be very disturbing.
Okay, well, now,
Can I answer any questions?
Time for a 30-second commercial. Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves.
Thank you very much. I
We have a
appreciate
new
it.
category that we're just trying this year. We only have one person in it, but we'd like to, okay?
If this is Boudreaux, not Boudreaux. Okay. I'm game. They're gonna do me now. In 1824 was the birth of this poor lady. Ma and Pa were shocked to see their darling baby had a beard. Who's in on this out there? Go ahead. I may have to pull my glasses on. Hold up.
you know, when you're, who I think it is.
I'm afraid it's Lily Mae's brother.
Oh my. Well, let me show you. I've been traveling.
No, I'm petrified. I'm standing there and I'm absolutely petrified.
Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that gorgeous? And then, you know, I was traveling and, oh no, I don't know. This is I was traveling and I brought something else back home.
I've been
Traveling. I was traveling. You know, the TSA has me on the phone because of what I put in my suitcase and I don't know.
How many of the Arizona gunfighters have you on a watch list? Okay, see their darling baby had a beard. Okay, there I am. They sold her at the age of 14 to a traveling show. I think I probably need my glasses for the rest of this. They sold her at the age of 14 to a traveling show where she fell in love and married the flying Randy Show.
She's not a belly dancer, is she?
I don't think so. This is her only R-rated show. It's Flying Randy refused to wear anything but his kilt. That's a kilt. And it's not Lily's brother. I think I know who that is. Matilda wears his wears his kilt in memory of her dearly departed husband, who fell to his death when Matilda lost her grip. Matilda lost her grip years ago. She left to the silver mines and struck it rich, acting as a man, drinking and cussing. Oh, I know who this is. One day she was discovered by a very nasty lady whose name will remain anonymous.
How would you feel? You wanted to blackmail?
Who wanted to blackmail this poor soul. Dale was married to tall, lanky, drunken lout. Dale Bob. You gotta take part of the blame for this. Who discovered the two ladies talking and shot poor Matilda thinking she was a woman. Well, why would he do that? Wait a minute.
Because a drunken lout, it doesn't really take much more explanation.
Somebody was around last night. Over, page 2.
You know, my great uncle won a funeral home in a tarot game at the Palace Saloon, so we may be able to clear the room.
Can we take care of the litter here? This has been. Well, I knew it was you. Performed by in memory of George Rands, the foundation. Thank you, Randy. Dee is wearing the kilt that George had on at the last shootout he attended. Thank you, guys. That was beautiful.
Sir, or whatever, are you the one I saw down on the road at Press? Where's Press? Well, is Mr. Larkin here? Is there somebody here?
By the way, George's beautiful, talented wife is Cheryl, otherwise known as Miss Lily. But I think I was Miss Lily before she was Miss Lily. Anyway, she's right there at the judge's booth. And I think everybody extends their profound thanks to George for getting this silliness started. And we will keep it going as long as possible.
And Miss Lily, you do remember was the other one. And was okay. We shared you. Yes. Thank you.
Is that it?
Okay, where is Neil? Because I heard that Neil is going to have the belly dance around here again after me. Again, every year.
Oh, okay, well, old Neil is hobbling over as we speak.
Every year, I plead with him not to have the belly dance. We are ladies. We do not need to
Speak for yourself
by
now.
the belly dance. Warrior, Mr. Warrior, Mr. Warrior.
She has a low-cut bodice on. Do you see
So
that
does
low-cut
he.
here?
So, wait a minute. I want you to consider that there would be a different type of belly dancing entertainment.
I'll be happy to.
I need Mr. Warrior to come over here because a friend sent this to me. I've been looking all over the world for it. Apparently they wear these in the South Seas. And all you have to do is
I think we might be having a rougher belly dancer.
Wouldn't he be more of a pom-pom dancer than that?
And he certainly doesn't qualify as a Chippendale dancer.
He's definitely got some serious pom-poms out there.
Okay.
Unwind. There you go.
Melissa, I gotta tell you, he is no replacement for Little Egypt. I think if anybody paid to get in to see him, they would really consider themselves to be Egypt.
Okay, I tried. So,
You did.
I think the judges are rendering their decisions as we speak. That looks lovely on you, sir.